Welcome to our Africa Tech segment today. According to TechCrunch, an American online tech publisher, the pace of malicious hacks and security breaches is showing no signs of slowing down, and the amount of money spent by enterprises to guard against this is set to reach $124 billion this year. This is having a negative effect on the most innovative cybersecurity startups, which continue to raise big money to grow and meet that demand. Hackers and cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated, and Nigeria as a nation needs to be prepared in case of any unforeseen national breaches. Our guest, Chibuke Good News, a cybersecurity expert, joins us now to talk more about this. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today. So how would you assess Nigeria's cybersecurity measures?
The security agencies are working, but they've not gotten to pace with the perpetrators of cyber fraud. And these people that are perpetrating cyber fraud, they are way dynamic in the approach. So while the security is coming up to a level, they also advancing to the next level. And Nigeria as a country is not a first mover in the technology space. So a lot of things, especially in the government and the institutional wise, are still backward, and the private sector has not indeed them fit to do things around cybersecurity.
More Nigerians are going online than ever. Should we in any way be bothered about their safety?
Yeah, of course, everyone should be bothered about their safety online. What you consume on the internet, the digital footprints that you drop on the internet, you should be concerned about what it turns out to be.
How safe are we online?
To an extent, we are safe, but to an extent, there are also threats. Although the value of the threat, especially for Nigeria, is really not huge, because the fraud, especially for Nigeria, don't have very huge capital or very huge transaction base, and most of the internet fraud are usually committed in high-earning countries where the transaction volume is quite high. But that doesn't mean that we are not a threat. We don't have a threat. We still have a threat, and some of the threats could be using our details to shop online, doing some of the things that we don't expect. Or should be concerned about what is done on the internet, and our security and our footprints are used by cyber criminals.
We had the WhatsApp breach a few months ago. How can we protect ourselves online?
Yeah, protecting ourselves online starts with the device we use, the activities we carry out on the internet, and also the actions we take as individuals to protect ourselves on the internet. A huge number of Nigerians, not just Nigerians, people in a number of countries don't pay for antivirus, which is very, very, very bad. Because if you don't pay for antivirus and you browse the internet without protection, you subject yourself to huge risk. And it could be, some of those data could be used to perpetrate fraud. And also, the phones we use, we should also make sure that we always delete the cookies or digital footprints. And also, the data that we leave, we should make sure we're using or consuming internet properties that are safe. If it's in safe sites, you're using safe applications, you're using services that do not jeopardize your security. And how do you identify them? You identify them by some of their landing pages, the URL, some of them that use HTTPS, they are safer than those that don't have HTTPS security. And they're also on apps. You see, when you're downloading apps, they tell you some apps have security, some other apps don't have security. So we should always look out for some of those things so that we know that we are not exposing ourselves to criminals or security breaches when we're using the internet.
Yeah, so the issue of data privacy law, how important is it?
It's very important. Of course, as human beings, we should be careful and be concerned about what is done with our data. And the people we expose our data to, we should also be concerned about what they do with it. But in this part of the world, the data privacy law hasn't really gone far. And I wouldn't really say there isn't no law at all, but the laws do not directly address data privacy. They kind of talked about other things, but not necessarily addressing that.
All right, then, cybersecurity expert Chibuke, good news. It's been a pleasure having you on Network Africa. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.